so that we're able to speak to one another. And then I'll hand it off to Chris. You can take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. How many people do we have in attendance?
We are at about 10 right now.
Fantastic. All right, a little bit about myself and the information that you're going to be learning. I think it's very important that you learn directly from someone who's qualified to teach it. As I was a deputy sheriff in Pinellas County down here in Florida, I started out in corrections as a maximum security corrections officer. I was transferred to patrol operations, which is the street cop, you know, the guy driving down the street that we all get nervous when they get behind you. We created this program because we saw that agents specifically need a certain level of training. So we created a full curriculum, video, books, manuals, everything you can think of to keep an agent safe. So we are over 100 locations all around the world, and you can get our resources at our online store and our books and our CDs, and I'll give you an app so you can get a free audio seminar and a free book, and we'll do that at the end. If I forget, someone please prompt me. So why are we here? Because you guys specialize in crime by appointment. Crime by appointment, very important. I'm going to ask a question. Who drives a car to work or to showings? Raise your hand, yeah?
Yes.
Very good. Now, who here, before you leave the lot with that car, what do you have to have on that vehicle before you can even leave the lot?
Key.
Key, yeah, absolutely. What else?
License plate.
License plate. The answer is, if no one said it, insurance. They want to make sure that if you damage this vehicle, that it gets replaced, even though it depreciates the second you drive off the lot. As I'm speaking, my vehicle just got lower in value. Who has a cell phone? Who has insurance on their cell phone? Who has a house, a condo, an apartment? Apartments usually don't, but the apartment owner has to have this. What do they have to have? Insurance. In the great state of Florida, you know what comes along every summer and pays us a visit? There's a lot of them this year, called hurricanes. The state of Florida wants to make sure that if anywhere you live, if it's damaged, that it's going to be taken care of. Now, all these are material in nature, but what are we doing? We're paying to make sure they are insured. Now, from the time you start school to the time you're where you're at now, an adult. So you're 5 years old, you're going to elementary school, you're in middle school, you're in high school, you go through formal training. Now you're 45, 55, 65, 20, whatever it is, year old man or woman. And what is your level of training to realistically defend yourself against a violent criminal encounter? Now, I state my background because I worked with thousands of criminals. I get to ask them all the questions. I get to see the crime. I get to see the victim. I get to know the backstory. I get to engage on all fronts. And I've worked crimes with against realtors and against property appraisers, crime by appointment, pizza delivery. Yeah, come to my house with the pizza. I'll take the pizza and I'll rob you. All right. So we're going to get to know the criminal today. We're going to know what they're looking for, and we got to know how to avoid it and or stop it. So we're insuring all of this stuff, but we don't have insurance on the most important thing on this planet. You're the most expensive car on planet Earth. You're the Lamborghini with the gold wheels, and you have no insurance because they don't teach you in middle, high, all the way through college. And then all of a sudden we are leaving Chili's one night, jingling our keys, and someone walks up to us aggressive or asking us questions and making us nervous, and we don't have anything to fall back on. So that's very important. Knowing that you don't know something is very, very important. It's a critical first step. So what are criminals looking for? They're looking for soft targets. Now, they're soft targets that you can't help that this is happening. So you're born this way, or it's a physical condition in your life. So let's talk about soft targets. Children, they're small, they're impressionable. An adult can easily impress them or convince them. They're lightweight, they're not violent, they don't introduce weapons. Females. Now, when you have one mark against you, and then you have another, start counting on your fingers. How many opportunities is that guy looking for, or is that girl looking for? So a female who's a child, there's 2 marks against you. The older of the pack, the one that's gray, balding. As a criminal, I would rob the older guy or older female because what? She won't put up as much of a fight as the one that looks fit or in shape or who can fight back. Remember, as a criminal, what's my number one priority? Does anyone know?
Getting away without getting caught.
That's it. Any of us, we can go achieve being a criminal today. I can go rob a store, go take a gun to a post office. You're a criminal. It's easy to do. Getting away with it is where all the violence comes in, right? So I'm going to choose someone that I think I can get away with it, okay? So females, children, the weaker the pack, handicap. Oh, you're in a wheelchair. You have a limp or a cane. The elderly. So start thinking about an elderly female with a cane. So now you got 3 marks against you. So the next one is people that are grossly overweight. I don't think they're going to fight back, okay? We have people that look very passive. If anyone's a fan of the Rocky series, the first 2 Rockies, Adrian looked very passive. She looked like the librarian, you know, the turtleneck and the glasses and very low talking, okay? So you start adding all of these up. This is very, and then for me, when people ask me, how do you feel like a soft target? Do you ever? Absolutely. I have small children. If I have a small child on my hip and I'm buckling them in, or if I'm walking my 5-year-old and my 8-year-old and they're little girls, you have to think, what if someone comes up and begins to rob me? Their lives are in my hands. So yeah, everyone has it against them. No matter that I was a police officer, a black belt, it doesn't matter. You do have situations you got to work through. So now let's talk about things that are going to put you in a category that you weren't always in, or you weren't in before. So everyone get in your Facebook or your FaceTime or your email checking mode. Head down, okay? It's really important that I know that I got likes and what's on Instagram. Most people, before they get out of their car, they pull into a parking lot, boom, put it in park. They look. When they get off of work, they get in their car, look. About 2 or 3 minutes, they'll sit there. Make sure I purge everything before I get on the road. We have a quick and easy protocol. It's called lock and relocate. Get in your car, lock it. That's the safest place you could be outside other than your house. You're surrounded by steel, fiberglass, metal, locking devices, and it has an engine where you can escape if you have to. Lock your vehicle, relocate, check it at the first red light. That simple protocol can save your life. So that's really important to know what you look like. So if a lion is hunting, think about this. If a lion is hunting and you're watching that on, I do apologize, I don't know why that is going on. The lion is hunting and he will not pass a gazelle for another one. If he has a gazelle right in front of him, he's not going to say, well, he's a little thin. No, it's there. There's the opportunity. So they'll sit in the grass. As soon as you put your head down to drink water or Facebook, see the analogy? I'm going to attack. That's what lions do, okay? And it's the female lions that do all the hunting. But as soon as I see an opportunity, an easy opportunity, one more analogy, always think about this. If I said there's $10,000 in a safe right there, you don't know the combination. There's $3,000 in a glass jar right there. And I said, you have 20 seconds to get one of them out, and it's yours. Everyone picks $3,000 in our seminars. Why? It's a guarantee. They smash it, $3,000. A big metal safe, I don't know the combination. It's too hard of a target, all right? That's how criminals think. And remember this, working with criminals for a long time, criminals are criminals 24/7. You can lock them up, take everything out of their cell, and they still will conduct criminal behavior. They will still figure out, they're always thinking. They wake up in the morning at their house if they're not in jail, and they think, you know what? I need a car. Why do I need a car? Because I have a bad drug habit. I need a car to go to Georgia from Florida to buy drugs from my contact. What would I do? Well, look at the real estate agent up there. Maybe I meet her at a showing or a house on that sign, okay? And then she shows up with a car and plenty of inventory, cards, money, jewelry, okay? That's how they think. And if they think 24/7 like that. On the other hand, most individuals do not wake up, good people, and say, you know what? I really have not thought about my personal safety or the safety of my family. I do need to get some training, maybe outfit my house with some surveillance, get some hands-on training, or take this real estate safety course. So that's the difference between us and them. Now, the reason that I just want to make sure that I'm keeping time. The reason that we focus on the criminals and soft targets in the beginning is because most people don't know the other party that they're trying to beat. So agents, how much do you know about your client? When you see them show up, you start looking at everything. Oh, they're driving a $70,000 SUV. They're with the husband and the kids. Okay, that's a green light. That's a lot safer than the single male that shows up on a bicycle or is there before you even get there. But we know all these selling points. That's because you know clients. What are the bells and whistles for the client? What do they want to hear? And as someone who's selling, you got to know them. As someone who's trying to avoid danger, I have to know about criminal behavior. So that's why we're really trying to reinforce and download new information here. Okay, how they choose. We just went over that. Here's some examples of criminals. I just want to go over a couple. Everyone say intent. Intent is why they do what they do. So what kind of criminals are out there? This guy, these are real reports. This guy was a deacon at a church, married to the same woman his whole life, had children, no criminal background, and he was an animal control officer. He was the BTK killer. This guy was a serial killer. He's very, very famous. If you just Google BTK, the guy talked like a scientist. You would think he's your father, and he would lure people into false sense of security, tie them up, and kill them. This guy, now think about this. What would motivate a human being to kill 6 people without a gun? That would have to be a big motivation, right? Like you hurt my mother, or you're trying to kill me, or something really big. Well, I'll read line by line what his motivation was, so you know what kind of people are out there. Victorino is accused of leading the stabbing and beating attack in which 6 people were killed in a Deltona home. The motive appears to be the loss of his PlayStation and some clothes. Video games and clothes. Set this guy off, and he took 6 lives. Of course, he's in jail, but 6 people have lost their life. This is a real estate agent, 30 years on the job. Rape and attack. Horrible. This guy, let me just go line by line. He was asked, why did you attack and kill that real estate agent? Because she looked like a rich white lady. That's what he said. Took her car, raped her, shot her in the face. So 30 years on the job, at the last minute, she got a call. Very experienced. She took the call. The husband lost contact with her. He said it's very unusual, and she was found dead. Okay, 30 years on the job. So here's my question. Anyone that wants to answer it, what specific plans do you have in place right now for real estate agent safety protocols? If you can just give me a quick summary.
Any agents want to speak to this?
I make sure people know where I am, where I'm going.
Okay, that's a good start. Anyone else?
I make sure I can park my car where I don't get blocked in a driveway if I'm at a showing or an open house.
Okay, well, you guys are going to have a plan after today. All right, so let's tie it all in now. We talked about soft targets, right? What would make this female a soft target? She's small. She is still a student in college. She is female. But what did she do in the report that put her in a bracket she wasn't already in, that allowed the lion to come out of the grass and take her life? She was 6 minutes via Google Maps on a well-lit path, well-lit on a college campus. She leaves dance practice, and in 6 minutes, she disappears. What could have stopped that? One other person. Sun's going down. I'm a small female. I don't feel safe. Can somebody just walk me to my dorm? Happens all the time. Once again, let's go back to the beginning. Criminals don't attack when they think that they can get caught. 2 people is 10,000 times the effort for a criminal. Not 10 times, not 100 times, 10,000 times. You have an extra set of arms and legs, possible weapons, extra set of eyes for being a witness. That almost guarantees this person gets caught. She was going back to her dorm. Her life was taken. All right. So we talk about crime and criminals, but here's the good news. Only 3% of the population commit 95% of the crimes. So you don't have to walk around Walmart with your handgun out, looking around every corner, paranoid for your life. We're not fear-mongering here. But if 10 people or 20 people crash landed on an island, 2 people would be responsible for all the crime. All the fresh water's going, all the coconuts are being stolen. So it's a very small minority that commits the majority of crimes. So most of the people that you interact with are good people that really want a nice home or a house. They're legitimately a prospect. But as we know, and as we've seen in the news, there was one here in Tampa about 10 years ago. She walked in, guy shut the door behind her, hit her over the head, sexual battery. He was at the club that night driving. He drove her car to the club. He was partying like it never happened. Threw her in the river. She floated up under a dock. She was a young, ambitious, brand new realtor, just looking to make her way in the industry. And it did not work out because she did several fundamental things wrong. And we'll cover that. So let's talk about the things that actually, let's go back. Formula. What's the number one formula that all criminals have over you, me, the police, everyone? What is these? It's a 3-part formula. It's the secret sauce that they own. We can control that much of it. They own that much of it. Anyone want to jump in? This is really, really important. Well, I'll cover it. Let's break it down. 3-part formula. They always pick the time, the place, and the method of attack. They always. You don't get an email. You don't get a text. Hey, when you show me that house at 6 tonight, I'm going to hit you over the head with a bat. All right? Time, 6, place, the showing. What's the weapon of choice? Whatever they want. Bat, empty hands. It does not matter. So when I tell people and students and teens, I say, I can give you one piece of advice walking away. Take that 3-part formula, optimize the first 2. Time and place. If I'm making a showing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's a lot of traffic out front, and I'm with somebody else, my time and place is pretty good. There probably will never be a method of attack, even if they are a criminal, because nope, this is going to be too hard. There's witnesses. It's daytime. Change it. Sun's going down at 7:30. You rush to that last showing. All right? Not good. Same thing leaving a Walmart. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, traffic. I can't stand Walmart. I'm a Target person. I don't like Walmarts. I don't like how they're set up. There's too much congestion. 2 o'clock, you're leaving, all these witnesses. It's a pretty safe place. But you're leaving Walmart at 11:30 at night. You're parked all the way on the other side. It's dark. You're walking by yourself, jingling your keys or on your phone. Not good. So time and place. Think about a 10 being the most optimized. That's your green light. This is good. You know, I'm in my office talking to realtors. Time and place pretty good. Okay, I'm leaving my office, walking out to my vehicle late at night, so I'm down to a 1 for safety, okay? So that's what they own, even over police officers. You're seeing police officers ambush now because they don't know that in my patrol car, someone has picked the time and place. They're going to walk up and shoot me in my patrol car. Let's talk about things that I've heard from a lot of people and a lot of agents. This works, and this is what I would use to protect myself. So apps. I had a real estate agent say I have a safety app. And I said, what does that mean? Well, I hit this app, and it takes a panoramic picture of everything in front of me and sends a call to 911. Now, from firsthand experience on a year after year after year basis, I can tell you that you need to spend about 8 to 11 minutes with that bad guy. What are you guys going to do? Eat popcorn and watch a movie? Because the law enforcement do not show up. The national average is 8 to 11 minutes. You can lose your life in 10 seconds. So for 8 to 11 minutes, no matter what you think your app did, that's good. They're going to have evidence, okay? But there was a girl killed in Ohio State. I talked to the mom. She reached out to me, a heartfelt message. She said, I did everything right. All the girl did is she had a job on the campus, left the job, walked to her car, and she was killed and sexually battered by a guy wearing an ankle bracelet for doing the crime before. They don't care sometimes. You'd think the ankle bracelet would be a deterrent. They showed exactly where he was in the time of the crime, right next to the female. So I say that because an app, they don't work. They don't work. You work, okay? Let's go over phones. Now, here's the downfall of doing a Zoom call, but you can go to our online college and see it live. We put this bright green phone that's been all over the world. It's one of our original training phones. You can see it's actually got buttons and an antenna. Okay, we put one of these in a black bag, and we asked the audience, how far do you think I need to stand away from you for you to get that. Now, if there was $1 million on the line, to be within 5 feet of the right answer. You can't just throw out 1,000 feet. Life doesn't happen at 1,000 feet. How far away do I need to be? So when I start walking, not running, I'm going to walk up to you. And as soon as I'm close enough to touch your shoulder, okay, as soon as I start moving, you got to get the phone out, dial 911, describe what I look like, short hair, all black, and I'm at this place. People will say 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. I usually give them 30 or 40 right off the bat. They can't get the phone out. They fumble. They don't hit the right buttons, okay? And then when I get close enough, I yell, 911, what's your emergency? And they got to go through the process. You need 150 operating feet to get the phone out, be clear of mind, make no mistakes, and be ready to engage. So to rely on this it's one of those, it's a very high hurdle. It will trip you up. Most people think it's easy to clear. This will not save your life. If you lock yourself or barricade yourself in a bathroom, very useful. Call for help. You can use it as a beating device, or, hey, yeah, this guy tried to attack me and I hit him and he fell. Come pick him up, okay? Whatever it is, not your initial response, because when you're doing this, they're right in your face. They'll knock that phone right out of your hand. All right, guns. Let's talk about the G word. Just a training model, not a real gun. So I get asked a lot of questions. Should I get a concealed weapons permit, self-defense instructor? And a lot of states have them, a lot of states don't. So we're going to give you weapons that don't need to be a gun today. My question to you is, hey, if the state allows you to do it and you want to go throw $150 to the state to get a piece of plastic to put in your wallet, by all means, that is called freedom of choice. Go do it. However, from my own personal experience, the number one skill that everyone needs that owns a firearm is one thing: your ability to hold on to it. So I ask people, if I was going to take the gun, if I was going to take the gun from you, do you have the skill and ability to retain your own weapon? So this guy's name is Smokey, and we put him in every seminar. And when the audience is out there like 10 or 15 feet away, what I ask them to do is to call Smokey like a dog. And if Smokey goes to you without you leaving your seat, I'll give you $100 cash. Smokey never moves because Smokey doesn't care. He's not a dog. He doesn't recognize its owner. I sat in a room with my lieutenant came in the academy and said, listen, you guys are going to watch some video. And if anybody gets up and leaves, you're no longer working for the agency. I had no idea what we're going to watch, but I knew it was going to be pretty heavy. And it was officers losing Smokey, their own weapon, and they were killed with it. Most officers are killed by their own firearm because everywhere you go is an armed call. I had one of my sergeants say that, and I said, well, what if I'm getting a cat out of a tree or something? You have a gun on you. I have the gun. So when somebody wants to take it, I have to have that skill to retain it. It's called weapon retention. Weapon retention. So that's very important. We were watching other officers lose their lives, real-time calls, dash cam. Well, 3 guys got up and left. Never saw them again. Because that's the reality of it. Cops die by their own gun in traffic accidents. So if you're going to carry one of these, if you think that this is the end-all, be-all, I'm here to tell you, when we do our demonstrations where I have someone just try to get it out of the bag, well, I'm just holding on to it. Or I do the same thing with the cell phone. I walk up to them 40 feet away, just a walk, not a run, and I'm on top of them before they can get it out and make it weapon ready. You would think that this thing would save you just like that, and it doesn't. Very difficult to get out under stress, on point, and actually stop the threat. So taking advanced classes with these, taking weapon retention classes, watching our videos on the college that we're going to give you guys, that's all weapon retention, how to hold on to it. We're going to give you a little bit of that today because if you're showing a house and all of a sudden someone's getting a little mean, a little aggressive, then you think you got to actually use a weapon, and you introduce a weapon, now it's an armed situation. And if it hits the ground, Smokey will defend our flag, enforce our laws, and rob 7-Eleven. He does not care. Always remember that. That's very, very important. It's not about politics. It's not about, my Second Amendment right. Okay. It's about skill to hold on to this. I wore this for a decade, and that's your biggest fear. All right. So concealed carry. I'll talk to you about do you guys have that in Massachusetts? Can you carry a gun?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the lifespan of a concealed carry individual. They pay the state whatever the state wants. They roll their fingerprints and they take the test, and then they get that plastic card. That plastic card makes some people do silly things they otherwise wouldn't. Stay out late, walk down the unlit path. I got Smokey, he's on my hip. And we show those examples too in the college. It's incredibly difficult to even get it off your hip and on point because once again, when we do these demos, we give away the secret sauce. We give away our time and place. Hey, I'm going to walk up to you right now. This is what you need to try to do. You'll never get that advantage in real life. The guy will be 5 to 3 feet away from you, or girl. Girls can be criminals too. All right, so concealed carry. Now I got my card. Hopefully I'm a responsible concealed carry person. Maybe I'm not. And that usually comes out in the wash. Now, I put the gun away. I'm excited. I spent $500 on a Glock. I got the latest and greatest holster. I went to the range the first 6 months. I'm excited. Then all that excitement and honeymoon phase goes away. Now what? 4 years later, you need it. Someone just grabbed your hair in your car and started to try to pull you out of your vehicle. He's right there in the console, Smokey, but you can't remember a couple things. Is it on safety? Is there one in the chamber? Is the magazine even in it? When we say weapon ready, it basically needs to be boiling water, not a pot over here, some water over here. Oh, I haven't even turned the stove on. It needs to be ready. So it's very important because your fine motor skills go from here when you're under stress to looking through a straw and having earmuffs on. That's called tunnel vision. Anyone who's never been in a situation experiences it. Whether you're talking to someone, whether you're selling a new product, you shut down a little bit until you get used to it. So the type of training we do takes that straw and makes it really big. A little bit of stress, do the activity. A little bit of stress, do the activity. So that's very, very important to understand is how you can actually function under stress. So when you get your concealed weapons permit, if that's something you want to do and you think that is your bulletproof vest, that will protect you because you know it's there, I can tell you there's a lot of breakdowns in that thought from real training and field experience. I can't tell you how many calls I worked where the person that got shot or the dead person, it was with their own gun. I show up on scene, I see a gun, I see a person. Well, that's not the bad guy's gun. He wouldn't have left it, okay? So they get shot by their own gun. It's horrible, but it's a fact. All right, do we have any questions before we go to the next section? So we went over criminal intent, criminal behavior, selection process. You have no insurance. You're walking around this earth with all the things going for you in the world, kids and money and career, and bad guys don't care, okay? Bad guys don't care. Today, we're here to fill your virtual account, your self-defense virtual account, where you can write a check. That check might be someone flipping you off in traffic. Check your ego. That's a little check. That's $1, okay? Mm-hmm. Or I'm in the back seat of my own vehicle with a stranger's hands around my neck, and it's going dark quick. Well, that's a lot, okay? You need to know a little bit more than to check your ego. So everyone that sits in front of me, people want to know your background. I spend very little time on my background and a lot of time on making people walk out of the door armed to the teeth without having to even broken a sweat. And that's really, really important for me. Okay, so we are going to go to the next section, real estate specific protocols that you can employ. Okay, now I'm going to be referring to all my notes. The first one is whatever protocol you have, put a little more effort into it. If you guys show up to a property early, I always suggest showing up to a property early. Why? You have to practice all your exit awareness. If I don't know how to get out of this house and I get trapped in it, so study the exits. Unlock the windows. Very, very important. Let me stay on point here. Safety and all right. Use a stop block. Make sure that the lockbox is open so there is no turning of your back at any time. All right. Everyone say 10 and 2 is good for you.
10 and 2 is good for you.
We live at 10 and 2. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We're doing this meeting, we eat, we text, we do everything at 10 and 2. That is your whole reality. And all too often that 10 and 2 is down here, up here, just closed in. So You keep anyone that you're concerned with, anyone that you're selling, anyone that you want to keep on point in your tenant to, like a flashlight at all times. Too often, hey, come on over here. Very good. Let me unlock here. Tenant 2 is turned. If I want, that's when I would do it. Everyone say stop block.
Stop block.
Carry some of these on you. Put this in the back so when the door comes open, it goes in the bottom hinge where the frame and the door meet. So it can never be shut. That's what they count on. I need you in a closed, locked area to do whatever I want to do. Rob you, sexual battery, tie you up and put you in your car and take you somewhere else. This never allows the door to shut. It's very simple. It doesn't, these are 50 cents. Okay, you can cut up a ton of them. Make them wider. What if the door is, it's got a wider hinge on it? These are just called stop blocks. When that guy goes to shut the door and lock it really quick, he can't. Okay, these are very, very low tech, very effective. It's just like shutting your door on your car and you can't because there's something in the way. Okay, like your seatbelt. So stop block. You show up early, everything's unlocked. I know how to get out, and these doors cannot, at least one door cannot be locked behind me, no matter what. That's powerful because the difference between a guy, and it will also give you the signal that something's really wrong. So if you walk into a property, you walk right into the living room, family room, whatever it is, and you 2-bedroom, 3-bath, and all of a sudden you hear wham, cha-ching, and then you turn around and there's a big male there. That's frightening, okay? You hear dun, dun, dun. Now he's got his back turned and he's trying to shut the door. That's the alarm. That's the alarm. Now you know. Now you have that advantage, okay? That in every second that you can plan for this attack, avoid this attack is critical and important. Stop block, very easy. This is all before they even get there. Parking. Now, when you show up, making sure everything is secure, make sure your vehicle isn't too close to the house because when they show up, you'll exit your vehicle, leave your valuables in the vehicle, not your cell phone, but your valuables. Because if I see you with that purse, I see you with that wallet, that's called inventory. You walk in with a purse, and I want credit cards and property, and then now you're going to let me lock you in this house because you don't know how to keep it open, okay? Everything is going against you at this point. Keep your valuables in there, your tablets, all that stuff. He'd have to go to your vehicle, okay, because you have no inventory on you except for maybe your cell phone and any improvised weapons that you have. So making sure that when you approach, you're keeping them in the tenant too. You know the game plan. You've already been here. You've been here early. Profile. This guy shows up and he's there but way before you, and he doesn't have a car. That's a red flag. Okay. If it's a family in an SUV, you can pretty much, you know, it's not always the thing you think it is, but when you look at all the information in front of you, you can make a good judgment call. I remember pulling over people, and if I was pulling over a guy at 1 a.m. with dark tinted windows and I could hear his speakers from my patrol car, it's not a soccer mom getting out. I can pretty much say that. Could it be? Yeah, but probably not. A new Suburban pulls up, 2 smiling kids and mom and dad, probably safe. Nothing's guaranteed, probably safe, but always practice this. Always practice it. All right. Next, smoke and mirrors. So you're getting them to go in. You're getting them in front of you. You can talk about the outside of the house, whatever your standard is, but practice this, especially with showing it to a single individual or where you don't feel safe. I like my clients to go in as though they're going in for the first time after they purchase their house. I want your eyes to be the first thing you see when you go in there. So I'm going to stand out here for a couple seconds while you go in. What did I just do?
Got behind them.
I'm behind you. I know what you're doing. You're not behind me. And it's called safety selling. You go. All right? I'm not the one buying it. That's what you have to be thinking. Do not let them go in there for 2 and 3 minutes because now you have to go find them. How you stay a safe distance. You know, it's 6-8 feet behind them. Yeah, very good. Okay, well, off to the right is what you get. And then start describing. But before you even go inside, as they're getting out of their car, if this is someone that you don't feel comfortable with, 2 things. Hi, I'm Chris Sutton. Stacy, my partner, I think she got caught at a light or stopped at Starbucks. She's right behind me. So if someone else pulls up, don't be alarmed. Stacy's not real. Okay. So perception is reality. If you show up with a partner, fantastic. Okay. Remember, they want to get away with this. They didn't want to have 2 victims. They wanted 1 so they can focus on it and succeed. Have and study that, whatever it is. For females, make it a male partner, okay? Because if I'm a male and I think another male is going to pull up any minute, well, I can rob someone else some other day, okay? I'm not going to do this to her. We'll go through the process and I'll get out. But if I plan on doing something bad and you told me someone's going to pull up any minute, and remember, it's 100% real to them. They don't know any better. If I told you right now I have a security camera looking at me in all directions, you can't prove otherwise. So, hi, I'm Chris Sutton. Stacy, my partner, she's right behind. I think she got caught at a light. See how natural that feels? Have that, okay? Have that about you, because criminals are smart. See what this is? This is Capital Contractors. You know, I'm going to be flipping houses. Can you show? I got this $10 off of Vistaprint. $10 off Vistaprint. Okay, it gets here in 3 days. I can be anyone to anyone. This is called criminal credibility. Okay, I make you feel comfortable because I'm a contractor. No, I just got out of jail 3 weeks ago. Okay, and maybe I'm some sicko that needs female attention and I'm going to do it the way criminals do it. Maybe I need money, but I'm making you feel good about your decision to let me in without telling people and letting your guard down. Okay, $10, Vistaprint. I can be anyone. Okay, so that's called criminal credibility. After you pose the fake agent that will be coming at any minute, okay, perception, already thinking now as a criminal, have them stand behind their vehicle. My manager always wants to know where I'm at and what I'm doing. My office is always, safety is our #1 policy. Go ahead, if you could, stand right. Good, thank you. License plate, person, send it to a contact. Send it to someone you trust. And here's the thing, good people don't mind that you do that. They just don't mind, okay? So I had someone in a seminar say, well, isn't that invasion of privacy? There is no expectation of privacy when you drive your vehicle down the road and 1,000 strangers a day can see your state registered license. And once again, if you want to buy wine at Walgreens, you got to show an ID, a valid ID. So I'm going to go show you this $400,000 house, and all you want me to do is just stand there. Fantastic. Okay. So look how many things we've done before we even showed the house. All right. Now you do this when you know that you're going to be meeting a single person or something where it doesn't feel like a 10 on the safety. It's a little sketchy. They were sketchy on the phone. They keep changing the times. That's another one. They change the times because I know a lot of agents. I've taught a lot of agents, and their big thing is they got that 3 or 6% in their head. I got to get this closed. I got to get this closed. Okay. And they will bypass safety protocols. They will. They'll meet you right on the fly. But if you do even a couple of these, bad things usually don't happen, or you deter people, you know. And saying things on the phone like, bring a valid ID, please. And, you know, I have to, you can even tell them ahead of time, I have to take a picture of you and stand next to your vehicle. So I'll be there early prepping and whatnot. So you can say things on the phone that are kind of qualifiers. You know, have you ever had an appointment to show a house and they never showed up? You're like, I don't think I wanted to show it anyway. I didn't have a good feeling about that. So these are all qualifiers before they even get there. All right, this is before we even, because you're 10 times safer outside that house. All right, even if you had the stop block in there and you forget, you walk in front of them, you let down your 10 and 2. Shame on you. You're opening the door, boom, they push you in. It's very common because you screaming in the house is better than you screaming out here. Very, very, very common. So all the things you can do outside, if you have a relationship with a neighbor, well, you're selling this house in an iffy neighborhood, but the neighbor's really good, been there 20 years. You know, ask them. You know, when I show up, if there's anything going on, you know, if people were snooping around, could you just let me know? Could you text me? So it's called intel. You know, hey, yeah, that guy, he was here. There was a guy snooping around, you know, 2 hours ago, and he's looking in all the windows, and that would help you tremendously. So kind of have boots on the ground in the area. You know, have neighbors kind of communicating to you what's going on. Park in a tactical area. So there is a walk up to the house. Make sure that the house, it will drain like a spaghetti strainer if you have to get out of there. Everything's unlocked. That door cannot shut and lock. I come in with a fake agent that's right behind me. I'm taking a picture of the back of your vehicle. I'm leaving all of my possessions in the vehicle. So I'm not, got the purse, you know, they might even take the purse just because it's a nice purse and they can resell it. You know, I can't tell you as a police officer how many times I've Someone gets robbed, and within 30 minutes, it's at the pawn shop. Nowadays, you would call that Craigslist, okay? Or Facebook Market. Louis Vuitton, $50. You know, any way to make money with these guys. That's how they think. Jewelry. If you got a lot of expensive jewelry on, especially ladies, they like to wear it, but think about your advertising. You know, if you're leaning against your Mercedes, you got the big gold necklace, you're on the billboard as the #1 agent in your area. All I see is money as a criminal. Okay. And when I refer to me, not me, the trainer, me, the criminal. All right. Remember that guy, the report I wrote you, and that's just 6 people over video games and clothes. He killed them. All right. You got money all over the place. And I'll have that car taken apart and burned in a field by midnight because I run in criminal packs. Watch what you do on Facebook as well. Very, very important. So if you're sitting at Chili's at 9 at night and some guy's at the bar and he buys a round of drinks for you and your partners, you did girls' night out or whatever, and he's wearing your favorite college shirt. He's an FSU fan, so are you. All of a sudden, you guys start making conversation. He comes over and says hi, and you guys say, thanks for the drinks. That's awesome. And all of a sudden, he's a dog lover, and so are you. He loves your type of music. He's looking for a house. Why? Because he's studying your Facebook page, okay? He might be under some other person's profile, pick a name, but he knows all your likes, all your interests, what you do for a living, and how to move in. They just move in for the kill, and then they jump town. Happens all the time. Very important, very important. All right, moving down the list. Keep everyone at 10 and 2. Clients going in first. The valuables in the car. ID at the back of the car. We did fake credentials. When you're showing a house, avoid the small areas. The very small areas with no windows, the closets, and avoid the re-ask. If you get someone asking a third time, they're nervous. There's a great video of a real estate agent that was most recently attacked, and you can see the criminal being very hesitant. He's trying to get her to go inside, and she felt a little, and then she got on the phone, and she's just talking out front, and he keeps looking up at the camera, and he looks back at her. That's him. When am I going to make my move? When am I going to? And I've experienced this time and time again. I'm interviewing someone that's a suspect, and all of a sudden I see some body language I don't like. And either they're launching themselves towards me, pulling a weapon, or running from me. But you pick up on that. So if you don't feel right, have a fake excuse. Have a fake excuse. Be alive and be wrong outside of going, okay, I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to go through with it. Because we even tell teens this that are put in compromising situations. You know, people start doing drugs at the party, and your 16-year-old daughter, either someone wants to give her a ride home that it looks intoxicated, or she just doesn't want to embarrass herself and leave for the social stigma. So she puts herself in a really bad situation, dies in a car accident from DUI, or is date raped, okay, because someone brought her a drink with a pill in it, okay? Never let someone make you drink. All right, so how to casually get out of a situation, all right? And especially a lot of females, they know how to get out of certain situations because they get put in uncomfortable situations. I don't want to talk to this guy at the bar. They'll put a ring on that, even if they're not married, they'll do all these things that politely move you off to the side. So what we're going to do, and we're going to have fake excuses. Rehearse them. Don't get them wrong. Rehearse them. My son, Tom, just look at your phone. And when you look at your phone, never look at your phone down. You can do a fake look. Put it up. Oh, my God. Oh my God, my son broke his leg. I am so sorry. We're going to have to reschedule this. Okay. I apologize. Can we do this in 2 or 3 days? A good person doesn't mind that you do that. They just don't. Okay. Go, go, go. If I'm planning something, dang it. All right. Now you can come back. If it's legit, come back with reinforcements. Do come back with a real agent. If it was at 7 o'clock and you don't feel good and the sun's going down, you don't like the neighborhood, you're kind of by yourself. Okay. And you get the hair at the back of your neck stands up, get out of there. All right. I tell teens all the time, tell them that you have your dad's debit card and he's going to kill you if you don't get home. Oh, let me give you a ride home. No, I have prepaid Uber. Whether you can get prepaid Uber or not, just say it. Go down the street, hit the app. Really important to get yourself out of that situation. Here's what most people don't get. Prevention is self-defense. Have you ever been driving down the street and you see a patrol car sitting in the middle median? What do you do immediately? You become the best driver in the world, right?
Slow down.
Good. All right. So when I sat my patrol car in a median, I'm stopping crime and I'm stopping things that I can't even see because they never even happened. I don't know that the guy came out of the bar drunk and he saw my car, went back in and called a taxi. I don't know that the guy speeding saw my patrol car, slammed his brakes on at the yellow light instead of going through it, killing 4 innocent people. It never happened. You don't know that you weren't attacked at a showing because it never happened. Okay? At night, the average cat burglar will tell you, I do 200 doorknobs a night. 200 doorknobs. 2 in the morning. Next house. They do it in parking lots. They're looking. Remember, have you ever tried to break a car window? It's really difficult. It's not like you see on TV. Okay? So they rather get someone that just forgot to lock the door because there's a tablet on the chair or the seat, which I'm going to get, and I'm going to scrape the serial number off, reprogram it, whatever it is, sell it on eBay. That simple. You forgot to lock it. I got property. All right. So having all these protocols is important. Study them, take notes. They're in the manuals that you're going to get anyway. All right. So that's pre-showing. That's showing up. That's going into the house. Very important. Now we're moving on. Make sure you have great self-service. There's nothing worse than trying to make a very important call. Also, make sure everyone knows where you're at. Make sure that if you don't hear from me in whatever it is, whatever your average showing is, 15 to 30 minutes, call me. If I do not answer, call the police. Have that about about what you're doing. It's very important. This takes no work and no money at all to do. Let me see what time we have. Oh, we're doing good. Fantastic. All right. Neighbor communication, doors and windows open. At showings, you got to have kind of a silent gatekeeper. How many of you guys have a sign up front? Like you walk in and sign in? Raise your hand if you have that. Okay. What that does is while people are looking through the house, now remember, a lot of these guys, they'll unlock stuff while they're there to come back later while you're locking up. Very important that you go around and double check. If someone lies about their information, now if I was planning on robbing or raping this agent and to do this, I get cookies but I got to put my name and my contact number on here and my email. What's hard to remember? A lie. All right. So you're like, that guy's a little sketchy. Fred, last name. Ask him. So what's your name? See if he gets it right. All right. Yeah, I'll send you some real good information. What is your email? I can't make an email up that I can remember in 5 minutes. It's not my email. A lie is very difficult to remember. So if there's a bunch of people and you're looking at that guy's information, and once again, time and place, there's people moving around the house. He's not going to attack you, or he's not going to unveil his plan at that point. So you're safe to engage with people that you're suspect. He hasn't done anything yet. Okay. But see if he's who he says he is. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if it does. Yes. Good. All right. Good signs to have out front under surveillance, whether it is or not. I always tell people, have fake camera signs, beware of dog on the back of your fence in your private residence. Once again, having the fake agent show up at a showing, my partner's going to show up in a minute. Don't be alarmed. This is all perception is reality. And we'll get into a little bit about that in a minute. Agents on duty, a sign that says agents. Because if I'm a criminal, there's more than one. Automatically, I'm looking, is this a glass jar or is this a safe? Is this going to be hard or easy? Really, really. So is it easier to rob someone at an ATM or to rob a SunTrust bank? To walk in and rob them? It's an ATM. You're on your phone, you're flipping your money. All right. I walk up behind as soon as I see you do that. Boom, thank you. Give me your money. Awesome. So always be thinking, how would I attack me? How would I, make a victim out of myself? And it allows you to kind of reverse plan. All right. When you're leaving, okay, once again, we did all of our safety. We've got them in front of you. When you're leaving, you don't want, now the profile is the single male. Now let's talk about profiling one more time. If someone shows up in the state of Florida, or someone goes into a bank in the state of Florida and they're wearing a large jacket in August, June, July, I leave. I don't need to know anything else. Why would you be, it's 95 degrees out. Remember, you're taking all information and you're going to make the best possible decision for the outcome. So if a guy shows up and it's, it's warm in Massachusetts, I don't know what warm is. Okay. 70 is our winter. So, but if it's real pleasant out and he's got a jacket on, you're profiling now. That's not for race, not for religion. Why are you doing what you're doing? This doesn't make sense to me. The guy in Las Vegas, he was taking guns up to his room, and it looked like speaker boxes and band equipment. People said it didn't look right, but I mean, profile. It is what it is sometimes, okay? So look at someone and go, why are they doing what they're doing? Very, very important. All right, also look for the bulges on the side of the hips and the ankle for possible weapons. All right, moving on. Any questions on agent-specific protocols? Really important. Now, this next section is going to be fun. It's our last section. Once again, when we're leaving, let's close the loop. When you're leaving, do not get stuck between the door and you. That person's in the middle. They can control an outcome. Remember, you got your stop block in there. You got all this stuff. But if you keep them in your 10 and 2, you're going to walk out the door and say, okay, I'll be right out here. You can look around, anything else you want. I'll meet you out by the cars. That's a perfect exit. Don't turn your back. Watch them as you walk out. Does that make sense? They're the first ones in, and you're the first one out. First one, because that's when they're doing the timer. Okay, I'm walking towards the door. Shut it, lock it, turn around. Now you have to deal with me for however long it takes the police to get there, if they ever do. And by the time they get here, they're going to be picking you up off the ground or looking for your body somewhere. All right, moving on. This is some fun stuff. We talked about the fact that everyone wants to carry a gun. Why would you, if this scares you, if you don't know enough about a gun and you don't want to introduce it into a situation, there's a lot of ways you can protect yourself. Okay, we went over that. Let's talk about things that don't work. I hear all the time, yeah, I would put my keys between my fingers. I'll tack them. The only thing holding your keys in is the first knuckle. Imagine holding onto a monkey bar, trying to hold your weight up by that knuckle. Never works. We tested at the headquarters. Go smack a hard object, the keys fall on the ground. Every time. And if you're going to hit it with any force, not just a little tap. The proper way to use keys is in a ice pick method. This is a gross motor skill, which means children can do it. It's not fine motor skills. And you can have your keys in your hand. Okay? Keys in the hand. So not between the fingers. Next. Body alarm. I love this one. Should I get a body alarm? I didn't even know those existed until about a year ago. My question is, when's the last time you ran down the block to try to help someone because you heard their car alarm going off? What do? We're like, shut that thing off. All right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Body alarms, highly ineffective. Stun gun. There's two types of stun gun. Contact, I gotta be close enough. Which to me, as a trained individual, I'm trying to avoid that altogether. If I can avoid it, those stun guns work for as long as you're contacting the person on bare skin. Okay, as soon as you remove it, it goes away. As soon as you remove it, it goes away. It's like brain freeze, and it's gone. Okay. Next, the law enforcement-based stun guns, they shoot two rods that stick into your body, and that's the stuff you see on TV where you're completely paralyzed, fall down and break something because you can't control yourself. All right. So stun guns, no. Because once again, outside of getting realistic training for safety, most people will dress up everything around them, but they won't actually get the real skill. They'll get a stun gun. They'll get a concealed weapons permit. They'll get pepper spray. I got an app on my phone that sends out this alarm. I got a body alarm, but you don't have skills to defend yourself, period. Okay. The example I give people, in Florida, a lot of people have pools. If you have a pool out there and you have a small child, what do most people have? A baby gate, right? I've unfortunately found children that did not, they didn't make it. Okay, we saved a couple, but I've seen a couple that did not make it. And the worst thing is when you do see the baby gate, all right? The parents usually say, I got the baby gate. I got a camera I can look at. I got a sensor if anything hits the pool. It's a silent death when a child falls in. Anyone falls in. You don't hear it, right? I was leaving the gym the other day, and not the other day, it was months ago, but there was a baby face down in the pool, still moving. And there was a lifeguard in the pool. And the mom was sitting over there. I assumed to be the mom. And as a trained individual, I said, well, what is going on here? Why isn't anyone helping the baby? When I say baby, anyone have kids? So under 12 months, they can't walk yet. Consider toddlers. I didn't know you could train a child that age to swim. That's what he was doing, a swim lesson. They roll themselves over and they find the ledge. I had no idea. So you're born as that baby, okay? If the baby doesn't learn to swim at 1 or 8 months, and then they're 5 years old, has anything changed? Nothing. 5-year-old falls in the pool, dead, 100% of the time. Okay, 35-year-old can't swim, falls off the boat. If he doesn't fall onto a raft or get help, they die. You can't just get the skill. So most people fear what they don't know. We teach active shooter. People don't know the ins and outs and what you can do and how you can survive. So you're in fear a lot. Okay, when I'm a seasoned swimmer and scuba diver and spear fisherman, I feel comfortable if I hit the water on accident. Okay, there's certain things I don't parasail or anything like that. I don't fly planes. I would be incredibly nervous. So familiarity breeds confidence. Incredibly important. All right, moving down the list. All right, so we were at weapons, stun gun, no, body alarm, no, keys, no, pepper spray. Let's go knife first. In our seminars, our live seminars, I go up to a couple females because this is who it mostly might happen to, but men get abducted as well. I put the knife up to the throat. I don't grab their hair. I tell them I would grab your hair. Tell me what you would do in this instance. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Get in the car. I'm going to put this through your neck and start cutting. And I'll go down 5 people, and 80% of the time, I'll get in the car. I'll get in the car. Why? Because they don't know anything else to do. If someone says I'd slap it away, well, then I'm going to start cutting your neck. Okay? So what we show them is we have our hands in a tactical place. We're being really, really passive. And all we do is we tell them, we bring someone up to the front and we play good guy, bad guy. I said, put the knife up to my neck and begin to rob me for my possession. Remember, your intent is possessions. You want something from me. And they begin to rob me. They say, okay, give me your watch and give me this. And I grab it. 100% of the time, I win. Is that because I'm a self-defense instructor? No. It's because I'm showing you what you all in the audience can do. 100% of the time, all of you can do that. It's called action versus reaction. Now, with the delay, it's incredibly hard to do this, but I'll do what I do in my seminars right here, all right? Because the delay will be, it will even itself out. Everyone put your hands up, okay, 6 inches apart. Now, close your eyes. You'll hear the delay. There's going to be a delay there, but the timing will be the same, all right? Close your eyes. When you hear a clap, I want you to clap. All right. There was a delay in your movement and delay in the sound. The first pop is me going, I'm taking the knife. The second pop is the reaction of whoever has the knife going, oh my gosh, they got the knife. 100% of the time. So go back to when you were a kid and you told your friend, hey, we're going to race, but I'm going to say go. You're always winning for the first 20 feet. They can't make, because you've already processed a thought and you can't outthink a thought, period. So there are a couple things that I was doing. My hands are above my elbows, being passive. Hard to take that knife when my hands are below my waist, okay? That's just that one thing, because if you get in that car, you will never be seen again, period. I'm not taking you to a movie, okay? But now you know all of you can take a knife, all of you. You didn't get out of your chair today probably, and now you know you can take a knife. Well, what if he pulls it out and all you do, grab as hard as you can, make it like a logo on your shirt. If he pulls out, you might cut your hands, but then you turn it into a track meet. You run from him, all right? They're not going to run down the street with the knife up here like Friday the 13th. They're going to go find another victim. Go get some stitches. You're still alive. In Mycology, we show you what to do once you have it. There's a bunch of different techniques, but lack of physical training right now, this is a great option, knowing that you don't have to get in that car. All right. So now a knife, to me, is the most dangerous weapon out there. It doesn't do the most damage, but I can I can serve 20 years for sexual battery, robbery, whatever it is. I try to get a gun. It's a hard process. I need to go steal one. Where would I find that? I can go get a knife at Walmart 5 minutes out of getting out of prison for a horrific crime. I don't need a card. They don't make any noise. They're easy to conceal. It's great. There's no checks and balances. The person at Walmart doesn't go, are you a felon? No. Here's a box of 50 for $5. Okay? That to me, and they're in every kitchen, in every restaurant. To me, they're the most, the number one, it's the poor man's weapon. Okay, and it's a horrible way to go. I've seen a lot of crime scenes, and that's why you hear people that say woman was stabbed 70 times, because it takes that sometimes. That's because they're pushing away. That's actually the last thing you want to do. If someone's close enough to stab you, this is just a little additive. Hold them as tight as you can. Hold them as tight as you can, so there's no space where they can keep doing this. You take away space, you take away distance and force, which creates the injuries. Okay, all right. Moving on. Pepper spray. I got pepper spray. Okay. My question is, have you ever used it? Where do you keep it? And what makes the number one most effective weapon out there? The pepper spray is smaller than a cell phone, which you showed that you couldn't get out of the bag, and it was the only thing in the bag. You couldn't get the gun out of the bag. You need about 150 feet. Now you got to dig through your purse. That means put your head down, or in your pocket, and men carry it too. You have to undo the top, spin it so you don't shoot yourself, and then hope it works. I've been exposed to pepper spray or OC 50 to 70 times. And as law enforcement, that you have to do it. You have to get stunned, you have to get shocked, you have to get shot in the face with a pepper spray. Then you're on calls and you're using it, and it blows back in your face. Or another cop shoots it across the way and gets you, okay? Or we're fighting and I get it contacted all over me. All it is cayenne. You could literally make it. Cayenne pepper, an oil, and something to propel it. That's all it is. That's pepper spray or OC. And people get used to it. They make you work through it. I had to run 200 yards and they sprayed me, put a dab on my tongue of it, and I had to do all the arrest techniques and pull my weapon and call on the radio. Criminals get hit a lot. They get used to it. Quick story, I sprayed a guy at a traffic stop and he ran and started dodging traffic. I know I hit him in the face, okay? And he was dodging traffic, running from me. You can work through it. So getting it out, getting it on point, and hoping it works, those are all false holy grails, period. What are these?
Water bottles.
Yeah. This one's a water bottle. This one is a gun, and it should be treated as a loaded gun. And I tell joggers to do this. And I suggest you do it as well, but be very careful. This is one part Clorox bleach, 1 part water. It can sit on the counter at a showing. Okay? I suggest that you use one of these, maybe a container that someone won't pick up and start drinking, okay? Because they know it's someone else's. If you supply little waters and cookies, make sure this is in a place only you know. Okay? Joggers, I have joggers run with this. Hey, get back, get back. Look what's in my hand. Poison. Take the top off. Boom, hit it hard. Shoot it hard at that person. Obviously, you might get some on your hands, but you know it's coming. You know what they know? Oh, she's got water in her hands. What are you going to do with that? This will send you to the hospital and possibly take your sight permanently. Pepper spray doesn't have anything on this. It's like a water gun versus a real gun. If you are jogging, if you have this in your purse when you're walking outside, if you have this in your car, watch. If I'm a police officer and I look in your car when I pull you over and I say, ma'am, do you have any weapons I need to be concerned about in this vehicle? I could be looking at this. You could turn and say, no, officer, no weapons. Yeah, you're ready to take down. There's no one that can be taken. No one can resist this. There's not a human on the planet that you can throw this in their face and they can work through it. Not one of them. Okay, that's powerful. All right, all it is. And once again, you have kids. Make sure that it's marked and they know. Okay, do not touch this one. Keep it out of reach. It's just like a gun. You don't want someone to go, oh, mommy's bottle. Oh, okay. So make sure that you treat this like a gun. Okay, but you can put these anywhere. You can put them in your console. Just make sure the lid's tight. Clean the outside so it doesn't stink your vehicle up. Be careful and don't ruin your clothes. I made this one this morning for this demonstration. Okay? The only way you can really tell is the water has a slightly different color, not enough to notice. Okay? And the more water you add, once again, that much bleach, all water, and it's still highly effective. Better than pepper spray. What's the other, where did I put it? Okay. Very inconspicuous, like you were cleaning for a showing. 409, Tilex, keep them on the counter. You know you'll use them for a weapon. The attacker won't. Once again, you can get small bottles. You can keep them in your purse when you're walking. All these can be transferred into general safety. I'm walking across the parking lot. This is on the counter. I know where they're strategically at in all rooms. Very important. You can also do what we call contact with the chemicals. You can put some on your hand, grab someone's hair, and scratch their face. Not only is it in their eyes, it's in their throat, and it's burning into those wounds. Once it's on your hands, think of yourself as a superhero that you can't touch your own face, right? And your hands are on fire. Really, really important. Do I want to mess with someone like that? No. Okay? Some lady or some man scratching my face with poison seeping into it. Absolutely not. Okay? So these things sit out in the open, which make them the most effective. The 3 elements of effective weaponry is accessibility. So say that to yourself. How hard is it to access? So when I'm teaching gun safety or whatever it is, I got my gun in one room, the ammo in another drawer. Well, that's the accessibility is very poor. Okay? Deployability. Get it out. Okay? Retainability. Hold on to it. All right? I've already accessed it. It's here. I'm running with it. Or it's in my purse. It's right there. Okay? Access. Deploy. Top comes off. Bang. Or just squeeze. Okay? And retainability. These are disposable weapons that if they're turned on you, they won't kill you. If you lose Smokey, outcome's different. Okay. So that all this stuff just sits out in the open. No one thinks it's a weapon because it's not, but you strategically put it there in the event that you have to get free. All right, moving on. All right, next. Now, I learned this technique in the jail watching inmates fight. I'm holding a weapon in my hand right now. Can anyone see it? Anyone see it? You should have a lot of these in storage now because they're not something, this program's been around so long that this item came kind of outdated, but it's a great item. Once again, someone would walk over it in the road, a cop could see it and say, it's not a weapon. And it's a broken CD. So you take a CD, you break it. It turns into an extremely sharp object. If it breaks again, it keeps turning into a sharp object. You can walk through a parking lot with this in your hand. It's silent. Doesn't mean I can't see it. You get close enough. I've been verbal. I said, get back. Do it now. Grab your shirt. Grab your hair. Right in the side of your head. Now, the story and the inspiration behind this was I saw a fight in the yard. I'm in a tower. I'm watching the fight. This is before I went to patrol operations. I was a corrections officer in Max. These inmates started fighting, and there was blood everywhere, which means there's probably a weapon, a homemade weapon. And we looked and looked and looked, doing our investigation. Nothing came up. And we finally figured out what happened. These inmates aren't supposed to have any type of anything on them. They were high priority, maximum security. One inmate was growing out his thumbnail, and he was sharpening it on the cement in his cell. And the heat to that material on your thumb, it makes it so you can mold it like clay. And then it rehardens underwater. Yeah. So he would hide his thumb behind his palm. He didn't have a weapon, so he created one out of his thumbnail. Yeah, disgusting, but kind of smart. Okay? He grabbed the guy and just cut him until the thing broke off. All right? So that is the inspiration for holding small, tiny, very sharp objects because, especially a female, I can take a hit from you all day long. That's not degrading anything. Men have 10%, I believe 10% more body mass. We're generally bigger, stronger. We have more testosterone, which makes us violent for good and bad reasons. And that's why they send us to war and all that craziness, okay? If you want to disagree, that's fine. There's a lot of big, strong women out there, but they're fewer and far between. I expect to get hit if I'm trying to steal this woman. And I'll trade those, in my mind, flutter punches for what I want from you. I catch this, it's called an equalizer. Whoever hits me with this, it feels the same. Think about a 5-year-old with a gun and a 35-year-old with a gun. I don't care about your age anymore. I care about that trigger pull, okay? We have now equaled the playing field. So it can be a screw, it can be anything. Anything that you get that attention right off the bat, create space and get out of there. Remember, this isn't a title fight. You don't get a trophy. You get nothing. If a cop dies, okay, he gets a week in the news, and then we all move on. So a realtor, they say, uh-oh, gone, okay? But it hurts everyone in your life. This could stun someone enough, okay, where you save your own life. Broken CD. Just don't break your George Michael or your Duran Duran one. Those are national treasures. All right. Moving on. Okay, we all have this. USB cable. What I want you to do when you get a chance is take one of these out like I'm going to fashion it and whip it around in front of you a couple times really hard. It makes a very distinct sound, and it hurts a lot. They're very tough. I cannot break this. I could be in here an hour trying to break this, and I cannot break this. I would have to cut it with pliers because it's wire. Once again, retainability. I don't want to do a lasso like Indiana Jones. I'll take it from you and use it against you. Shorten it. Make a loop. Hurts more. Wrap it around your hand so it's a smaller weapon. Right there. That's perfect. Retainability. It's stuck on my hand. You can't take it from me. My other hand's out, and I can commence the beating if need be. If it's a deadly force situation, unhinge it and use it if you have to go there. Okay? The door's locked. He hits you one time really good. You're seeing stars. You know what's coming next, or you don't know what's coming next, but you're in a really bad place. You can take the person's life without having to be a punch kick connoisseur. Today isn't about being great at punching and kicking. It's about being smarter and better trained. Elusive and very hard to hold down, like putting a shark in a boat. I have experience with that. It doesn't go well. All right. So moving on. We have the USB cable. We have, everyone tell me what I have in my hand real quick. You'll get 3 seconds. Get back before I spray you. Do it now. Get back. What do I have? We'll do it again. I'll slow it down. What do I have? I just said I would spray you.
Pepper spray?
Chapstick. So I'm not yelling really loud because I don't want to blow your eardrums, but in our demos, I do that. Everyone, whether I'm with 500 people or 5, everyone says pepper spray. No, it can be lipstick. It can be chapstick. What the criminal sees is different than what you're doing. Smoke. Making sure you don't get a clear picture of what it is. Me yelling, okay? Your voice is incredibly powerful. Once again, if the only thing you did is put that stop block between the door and the frame so someone can hear me struggling inside, that could be all the difference in the world. A closed door is just like putting you in a Ziploc bag, okay? They're not going to hear you very well. Once again, I can buy a couple seconds. Get back to it now, I'll spray you. I have something in my hand. I definitely have something in my hand, but you don't know if it's cherry balm lipstick or Burt's Bees, okay, chapstick, or if it's real pepper spray. And remember, once I put doubt in your mind, I'm starting to get the upper hand, okay? So perception is reality. I got a fake agent on the way. I got fake pepper spray. I have all kinds of things in place. These are not hard to do. It just takes a little bit of practice. All right, moving down the line, we are getting close. So broken CD, poison, discreetly disguised as a refreshment, okay? But you need to know that it's actually poison and make sure that small children don't pick it up and that it doesn't get put into your showings where people take water, okay? You can put it in different containers so people know, maybe put your name on it even, okay? So incredibly important. Did you guys get a lot out of that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Make sure I did not forget anything. All right, now we're going to go over to the last little segment. We went over reprogramming what you think self-defense is and what it really is. Real estate specific planning, okay, from your open houses to the approach to inside to exiting to profiling. Very, very important. We went over myth busting. One last thing. This one's for the ladies, okay. From the time you're a teenager, adults, especially maybe your mom, or dad, they tend to tell you this, and everyone can finish my sentence. Guy gets in your face, you kick him in his, and you use your choice words. We use groin. I'm going to tell you a story. I was interviewing a female on a call, domestic, and I asked her, so what happened? Well, he came home, time, place, and method, started arguing, all right? He grabbed me. I kicked him in his groin, okay? And then I said, then he did this to you? Next to her was a steak knife. The blade was bent. The top of her head looked like a golf course where you kept missing the ball. It doesn't bother men like you think it does. This isn't Funniest Home Videos where wiffle ball hits dad and he goes down. It's called endorphins. If you want to know what an endorphin is, there's a great video, mother-daughter Oklahoma shootout. This guy gets shot 4 or 5 times and keeps fighting. Takes the gun that the mom introduced, beats her with it, and then pulls the trigger, but it was unloaded because there were so many shots. And it was all over just stealing liquor. It was crazy. It's called lottery motivation. And what I do in my seminars, if I have men, I make them millionaires, okay, virtually. I ask every man in this room, I said, okay, listen, I'm going to put the winning lottery ticket 10 feet from you. $5 million winning lotto ticket. Winning lotto ticket. It's guaranteed. All you got to do is get there within 20 seconds. You can do that, right? You can get there in 1 second. Here's the catch. You just got to take a shot to the groin from a female in the room. Who's going to be a millionaire? All of us. It's not the most comfortable thing, but guess what? My motivation as a criminal is to get away from you or to get what I want from you, and that will not hurt like you think, not even close, okay? So what will work, all right? Everyone say shopping for fruit. You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. So the old mentality of kicking them will only make them mad. They'll catch your leg because your first move, think about it. I've never even hit a guy. Now I'm half balanced, trying to hit something I can't see in a much smaller space. That's poor tactics. Can anybody dial a cell phone with their feet? No. You don't have dexterity. Your fingers actually have a mind. They know what objects are, and that's why we read Braille with our hands. We know what a quarter versus a dime is in our pocket. So I'm going to adjust the camera real quick. So when I stand up, I'm still in frame. Okay. So instead of kick, all right, we have our volunteer up here. Can you guys still hear us? Give me a thumbs up. Fantastic. All right. So that old school was kicking, making him mad. He tackles me on the ground, slaps me in the face or whatever. The new school approach, someone grabs me, your hands are free. Bang, you grab and pull. If he's behind you, he goes over the arms. Where is your hand right now? You can't kick backwards. Once again, it's an ineffective frontwards. It's right there. If he's sitting on top of you, you're on your back looking, it's right there. Now, the reason we use this technique, once again, let's go back to my training and experience. When I went to the hospital and I was, the doctor came out and I was there because the suspect was badly injured and had to go to the hospital. So we had to make sure that he was in custody on the bed, and he was supervised by a police officer. So the doctor says he has to go into surgery. I said, well, can I interview him real quick? He's going to die in 30 minutes if we don't get him into surgery. I said, well, what's going on? He wasn't shot or anything. Apparently, the female in this case didn't know anything else to do, and she grabbed, pulled, internal bleeding ensues, and he almost dies. And then I went back to interview her hours later, and I just said, how did that happen? She said, that was just an instinct. And I said, how hard did you pull? Not very hard. I said, well, he's in surgery. He's under arrest. He's going to be doing a long time. That is more effective than anything else you can do. So when we talk about, all the myths, same thing with men and women as well. But men are told, always look another man when talking to him. No, eyes don't hurt people. Yeah, it's good for truth and deception, but eyes don't hurt people. Hands, elbows, knees, the introduction of weapons hurt people. And if you stare them directly in the eye, guess what happens? You create your own tunnel vision. Do this with someone, not a stranger, they'll freak out, but your loved one. Just look at me for a second. If you stare it right in their eyes, everything gets blurry. if you look at the whole picture, you can see their shoes, you can see everything without even looking at it. And that, you really want to be on point. You want to see things without seeing them. In seminars, I say, you have darker shoes on, you have this, because I have vision down here that my brain can calculate, it understands it. Okay, I don't look through a straw, I look at everything. I want to know how someone is standing. Now let's go into the physical part, and that will be the last thing before Q&A. It's going to take about 10 minutes. Pre-attack indicators. Say to yourself, pre-attack indicator. Very important. So a pre-attack indicator is what someone's going to do right before they're going to take massive action. Whether they're going to run from you, they're going to attack you. Athletes go through it, okay? So pre-attack indicator, and in your mind, think about what a fighting stance is. I always have my audience stand up, and I tell them, do a fighting stance in 1, 2, 3. I get this, I get open hands, I get crane kick, I get all that fun stuff. But an actual fighting stance is what I'm doing right now. This is what I did on duty. My hands and my palms are above my elbow line. Elbow line, a line between both elbows, in a natural stance, okay? I look at my watch, show a little maybe frustration. All right, you guys stay on the couch. I've been out here 3 times this week. We've got to knock this off. Get on the couch. See how fast I can go from here to anything else, okay? You can go from here to using techniques. It's very hard to go from here to techniques when you're down here, your hands are in your pocket, your arms are crossed, okay, they're behind your back, are very, very difficult. So the way to build this stance, turn sideways, look in the mirror. If your toes are in one straight line, if you lean forward, your heels come off the ground. You lean backwards, your toes come off the ground. You have no balance. To create balance, a human being has to adjust 1 foot by 1 inch. It's very subtle. So if you're standing in front of someone and all of a sudden you see them just shuffle 1 foot back, it's little. It's not this big stance. It's little. They're like, yeah, so my phone number is, I'm getting closer, I shuffled my foot, my hands are above my waist. It's a pre-attack indicator, okay? So I would be doing a report and talking to a guy, and all of a sudden he starts shifting his weight a little bit, and he's getting ready for a large athletic move. And that is an indicator that I got to do something. Okay, so if someone's talking to you inside of a house and they're getting a little close and they're asking questions and they're in front of you and they kind of shuffle the weight and they're leaning in, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Very important that you can pick up on that. So you kind of create your own space, and then guess what? You're feeling uncomfortable. Well, what can we go back to? Oh my God, my kid broke his arm. I have to go. I need to go out front. I need to get better service. You have that fake excuse to get out of it automatically. Maybe he's just a close talker and rude, but if you don't feel comfortable, don't just settle for it. Does that make sense? You can even say, I'm really big on personal space. You know, as a professional, I like to keep that distance. And if they break that bubble, oh, that's okay. I'm not going to do anything. You're in trouble. You just gave them command. Please don't come any closer. Okay. So your hand, this is passive. This is a passive stance where your palms are open. You're not showing any forms of aggression. Why? Because I have all my weapons in place and I'm going to use them, but you don't think I am. Remember, the most effective weapon? The one that doesn't look like a weapon, okay? I'm standing here with my water, or I'm standing here with my gun. I look dangerous. It allows criminals to go, okay, I need to prepare for this. I'm on point. They get their endorphins built up. They get a little stronger. So don't look like what you're going to do until you absolutely do it. Now, what do we put on top of this platform, this passive platform? Once again, active is this. Sir, we don't have a problem. Passive. Sir, we don't have a problem. Active. Soon as the fists close, for any reason, it never goes back to this. Okay? And once again, 80 to 90% of self-defense is all passive. It's how you talk. You know, it's understanding. Don't put yourself in that situation. Have an out. Have weapons everywhere. Have pre-qualified ways people can even get that close to you. Very, very important. All right, so the techniques we're going to give you, it's an absolute toolbox. It's your fork, your spoon, your knife, and your cup, and your plate, okay? I don't need every other fancy tool. For the most part, those are the only things that we ever use when we eat, right? So in self-defense, you're not going to be jumping and spinning and doing anything fancy, okay? So the first 4 punches, basic boxing punches, okay? The jab, come on over here. We're going to try to get in frame here. Your hands are up. The closest hand to a person is the fastest. Draw a string from this hand to his face, this hand to his face. The shorter string is the fastest punch, not your most dominant hand, okay? So from here, you close your fist, your thumb is on the outside of the knuckles, not the inside, and all your joints line up at the last second, your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder. If you're in the martial arts, you can make a whole day and a half, a week, or a year out of this. But your hands are up. Remember, passive, 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 till I'm not passive, okay? And you need this much space to hit someone. You can't be very close. Those are different techniques. I'll put these back on so I can see the screen adequately. Cross. All it is your rear hand. It's probably the strongest hand you have. All you do is turn your hip and your shoulder like you're throwing something. Bang, okay? Jab, cross. Now the hook, a lot of females can adjust to this real easy because if you've ever slapped a guy, it's the same thing, okay? All you do is make a hook out of your arm on either way, and instead of an open hand, close your fist. Bang! One of the most dangerous punches because it comes out of nowhere. And the uppercut, pop, right to the chin. Now, if he gets too close where I can't use these long range, you can't use them, all right? If he's really close, I can still use the hook, bang, bang, and the uppercut. It's called dirty boxing. You hold and you hit. So jab, cross, hook, uppercut. There's 4 tools in your toolbox. Next, just moving down the list. Palm heel strikes. I tell the audience, stomp your heels into the ground. You have the strongest part of your body is the heel from the waist down because it all ends in one small spot, all your force. That's how we can crush coke cans and break sticks with our feet. You have them in your hands. So hit your hands together. It's the palm heel. I can stand here in a passive stance. All right. I said get back, bang, right to the nose. Okay. Heel to high priority target, which is the nose, the mouth, distorts the vision, allows you to create separation. Palm, heel, left and right. Next is the hammer fist. Real easy to learn. Looks like a hammer. Once again, your passive platform gets a little too close. You go up high, not in, not straight, high, fat part of the hand, that cushion, bang, as hard as you can. Now, you can use these on the ground. If you're on the ground and you end up on top of him in a tussle, hammer fist, palm heel, jab, cross. All right, they transition to the ground really well. All right, the knee, the most easy technique, but one of the most powerful techniques. So everyone clap your hands together. That's called a clinch. You can't use a knee from here. It's too much space. If they get really close, you clinch, pull him in, eliminate space, and people often ask, well, what do I hit with it? Anything you can. You can hit him in the knee, the groin. Obviously, the top of your foot isn't as powerful as your knee. It will do damage. All right, the stomach, if he's getting low, the head, incredibly powerful. The most horsepower a human being has is between the waist and the knee. That's why our thighs are much bigger than our arms. A lot of muscle, a lot of horsepower, okay? That's the knee strike. Clinch and just keep digging in, okay? So we have jab, cross, hook, uppercut, clinch, knee strike, palm heel. All very easy, all gross motor skills, all right? Moving the most advanced upper body technique we'll teach you today, elbows. Elbows are great, okay? Take your right palm, touch your left shoulder. That's where you hit. Just practice that. It's not this, okay? Nothing fancy, nothing funny. So when he comes in, once again, I can't now use these, the rabbit punches, but I can use that, all right? I can go up, all right? If he's down in this position, I can go down. And if he's coming up behind me, I can go to the rear, all right? So look at this little Chinese star of elbows, okay? Right, left. To go up, you just act like you're answering your phone, and down to the rear. Once again, incredibly powerful techniques and very easy to do. Now we're going to go on to deadly force. Deadly force is the force in which any one of you on the screen or in the audience can create as much pain as I could create on a person. So everyone make a fist. Now, one of the most vulnerable areas on the body, if not the most vulnerable, is the eyeballs. And we don't like to attack those because inherently we've been conditioned since a child. You know, it's all fun and games running around with a pencil until you lose an eye. Right? We know how vulnerable these are. You have the same strength over your eyelids from the day you're born to your very old person. No one goes into an altercation closing their eyes saying, hey, what's up, man? You got a problem? No, they literally expose them. The weakest thing on your body is open to the public. And if we want to win and go back to our family, we have to not play by a rule book because there is no rule book. So take that fist. And most people say, well, I would attack the eyes. Well, how? Poke them like the Three Stooges. Your fingers have 3 knuckles. When you hit, they're very vulnerable. They don't work well, and it's easy to see that coming, all right? You'll make a fist. Put your thumb up like you're hitchhiking. Put that 1 knuckle on the base of that punch. Thumb punch. Try to get as much hanging over there as you can. Now, take your other hand. See how strong that is? That's incredibly powerful. Try to do it with your finger. Doesn't feel that good. All right? So Mark's over here. Instead of patting him in the face, trying to get away from this attack, just one time, bang, right to the eye. All you have to do is hit one, the other one shuts automatically. Lose the sight, lose the fight. Next one, everyone do this. It's a C. This is very durable, very thin, and it fits perfectly in a place no one wants it to fit, the neck. Once again, I'm being passive, right to the neck. Anyone ever been hit in the neck? It's incredibly painful. I was hit one time by a German Shepherd on a call. He ran up to me, he was happy to see me. His paw went right in my neck. Not only was I in more pain than I've ever been in my life, I couldn't verbalize call an ambulance. That's how bad I thought I needed to get it. And that was an accident from a dog. So you're fighting for your life, bang, and you hit someone in the neck. Once again, you can see where their life travels. There's nothing protecting this. And, just to bring it home, no one gets in, hey, give me your purse now. Give it to me. No, it's there. And it's a huge target. It's the size of the face. When people try to, if you hit a full-grown man or a woman, this is tough. It's designed to protect your valuable computer. This is tough, okay? But we hit it with knuckles? Why don't we just go, the only bone that is behind this throat is my spine. This is where I breathe. You take that away, I'm not in the fight anymore. I don't want anything to do with you, okay? And think about that. Think about how animals fight. I'll talk about that in a minute. And as much as you say I can't do it, you can. You can. We're just conditioned not to. You're running around with something in your mouth, you could choke. You're running around with a pencil when you're a kid, you could poke your eye out. And then we grow up, someone's assaulting us. I'm in the back of my car being choked. I want to play by the rules. I really don't want to hurt them. This will go away. It doesn't go away. These are winning techniques. This is just called a C strike. And it sits passively. Once again, Clorox in water. Okay, this is a poison that is designed to save my life if need be. This is sitting right here in front of you. I've already accessed it. Deploying is real easy because you don't think I will. And I'm hitting a very vulnerable target. Thumb punch, C strike, double C strike, right to the eyes. You're on the ground. Get those thumbs working. Okay? Those are all deadly force. And the last deadly force we're going to talk about, we're good. Thank you. I'm going to take a seat so I can talk about this one. Okay. Would anyone go pick up a wild squirrel?
No.
No. And I'll let you guys finish the sentences. Why do we not pick up squirrels? I'm bigger than him. He's no bigger than my shoe. Why would I not do that?
They bite.
They bite. Yep. That little half-inch mouth scares us to death. I'm not afraid of a lot of animals. I mean, I swim with, think about scuba divers. What do they see, especially in Florida?
Alligators.
Oh, yeah. If you see an alligator underwater, you've done something wrong. You see alligators everywhere. But in the ocean, we were just down in the Keys. Yeah, we were just down in the Keys. Saw a great hammerhead. What makes them dangerous is their teeth. Alligators. A shark is just a whale without teeth. Okay? A human baby that's 2 years old can remove an adult finger without trying. That's why they give them teething rings. Okay? Now, you're probably going, that's disgusting. It is. It is. But your life is 100% worth it. Okay? There's controlled chaos. The ship's going down. It doesn't go down in the same way every time. Okay? Maybe it goes down super fast. Maybe we got time for the life rafts. But I'm trying to save my life, for not only for me, for my kids, for my future, my potential. And I'm not playing by the rule book. Okay? And if you bite, you've increased exponentially your ability to survive. Think about the baddest man on the planet He was a champion. He bit another boxer's ear in half. It was a survival instinct because he was losing, and it immediately stopped the action. All right. Now, people say, well, I can't do that because you could catch something. The likelihood, and I've had to go through protocols after being in an altercation where there's blood transfer. The likelihood that you biting someone to save your life will result in anything lethal is like lightning in the daytime. It could have happened, bazillion to one. Okay. Is it going to happen? No. All right. Who lives? You do. That's incredibly important. And you'll be in the care, custody, and control of a trained professional paramedic within 5 to 10 minutes because ambulances get there faster. If you're in an altercation, you call 911, you'll always see the ambulance get there before the cops. They just have a better system for deployment and dispatch, and there's just more of them. All right? All right. So bite. I won't touch a spider because I think they'll fly through the sky that big and bite me in my neck. That's the other thing I fear, spiders. All right. So use every weapon you have is what I'm saying. There is no rule book. You're not going to outpunch a 6'5" male. Bigger and stronger does mean something, especially to females. If anyone teaches self-defense and they say, well, it doesn't matter how big and strong you are, it doesn't if you go to the back of the book and play by the deadly force rules. If you're punching and kicking a 6'5", 250-pound man, it matters. All right. And that goes the same thing with men. Go for the win. Once again, the longer you're in an altercation, even if you're winning, the more likely things are going to go bad. All right. And last but not least, very important. This is probably one of the best parts of the seminar, but I can't take you outside because I'm not there. It's the anti-abduction techniques. I'll cover them, and then you can review them in the manual and online. So if I want to take you from that house, I got my hand over your mouth or I taped it and I'm dragging you outside and I open the door and the window is down, okay? Remember, I want to take you from your point A to my point B, an undisclosed location. You have no idea where it's at. And guess what? You won't be alive when people find you for the most part. If the window is down, you'll see a frame. Open window anchor frame. You grab the frame, look away from the vehicle, yell, scream, yell, scream. This car cannot leave this area. It just can't. He can't shut the door. If you think, oh, what if he's just smashing against the car? Great, I'm not in the car. You can take a lot of punishment. You don't know it. You can take a lot. So this person has a very small window to abduct you. Very small, okay? And you have to keep that, you got to make sure that window shuts really fast on him, okay? He's going to try to keep it open. You're going to shut it. So what if the window's up? In the state of Florida, a lot of people run their AC. The window's up. Think about a door being open, vehicle, door. You'll see a V, right? The door in the front windshield. Just go out to your car and do it, okay? When you see that V, that's a window wedge anchor. Launch yourself in there, hand on the front windshield and on that door, the door window. Can you guys vision it?
Yeah, the front windshield.
Front windshield. My hand's on top of the windshield.
Okay.
My other arm is around the door, and I'm sinking into that wedge. The door absolutely cannot shut. So all you do is you open your door. Here's your steering wheel. Here's the front of your windshield. Put yourself right there. All right? Expand like an arrow. Absolutely impossible. You're slowing it down, the situation down, and he cannot shut the door, which is his ultimate goal, to get you somewhere else to do something else. Before they shove you in the car, another anchoring point, take your feet, and because all vehicles are elevated off the ground at some point, you take your toes, you push them up under the frame of the vehicle, okay? So right now, push your toes up as hard as you can, both of them. Your whole foot, all right? So it's hooking. They're called foot hooks. You're hooking underneath the vehicle as you're being shoved in, which does not allow it to shut. Every time they try to pull your foot off, you can kick them in the face. Once you're in the vehicle, if you're in the passenger side, you'll see the steering wheel right there. He can't leave the parking lot. He's starting to go. You launch yourself at that steering wheel, loop it in there, grab it with the other hand, look away from whoever it is, and bear down with weight. And when we do this in the seminars, I let people turn my steering wheel with 2 fingers. It's real easy. It's called power steering. Once we got that steering wheel anchor on there, they can't do it with both hands. So if I'm in a hurry, Mr. Bad Guy, and I hit that gas, what's it going to create? A low-speed crash. Can I survive a low-speed crash? Absolutely. And all these people are going to see this car doing this and this. They're going to start calling 911, and it didn't leave the parking lot. I'm not on the way to his bat cave or her bat cave. And we win, okay? We win. You'll get some bumps and some scrapes and some bruises, but you'll win, all right? When I show this to females, especially parents, it answers the big unknown for them because they never had an answer for it. They never had an answer for it. Now, when you're fleeing the vehicle, the escape route, we don't want to run in front of the car if at all possible, because if they get out and run after you, you're in front of a moving vehicle if they didn't put it in park. We want to run, if this is the driver and you get out this way, you don't want to run backwards because they can match your speed. You want to run away from the vehicle, so I have to go around it. Once again, you're not worth it at that point. You're not worth it. The plan's going bad. I wanted to abduct you. I don't know you. I'll go find someone else that has a lot less training, a lot less stranger awareness. So did you guys enjoy that presentation?
Yes.
Awesome. All your resources, and it's going to be on here, you can go to the Self-Defense College and log in. Our COO, Mark McKay, will get you login credentials. On there is probably 1,000 videos, 100 times the training you got today, and also the training you got today reinforced. All right, there's one-day camps. There's all types of stuff on there. You get it with your package. You can download the app on Android or iOS, which is Apple. Go to the store and just put in Cobra International. You'll see the logo. Okay, it's a gold logo. Please give us a great review. That'd be great. On that app, you get The Psychology of Self-Defense. It's my bestseller on Amazon. It's issued to police departments, women's shelters, law enforcement, self-defense practitioners, and people that just want to, it goes over everything. Stranger awareness, soft targets, how you're selected, even with your kids, how to pick a martial arts school if you want to get them into a martial art. That was my base since the 1980s, doing the martial arts. I went to martial arts school for 18 years, so we have a good understanding at the bullying concept and picking professional facilities for your family. You also get audio seminars. You'll get real estate. There's, if you don't have the app, you can go to, I think it's the Real Estate Radio Show. I did a podcast on there. It got really popular really fast with this information, but I believe it's already on the app. You can listen to it. And there's a lot of other products at CobraDefenseStore.com. Once again, we have books on bullying. I mean, books, 250 pages with everything illustrated, how to get law enforcement involved, how to systematically collect evidence, because we dealt with a lot of bullying in law enforcement, and we know how to deal with it. Here's your real estate safety manual. Once again, fully illustrated. I mean, it's got every picture you'd want in there. It's a lot of stuff we didn't even cover today because of the time limit. But you have manuals, digital downloads, you have the app, you have the books, and it's all at your disposal. And at this point, I'll take any questions that you guys have.
Does any of the agents on have any questions?
Well, I guess it was either very thorough. Well, if you guys ever need me to come back on, we can do a follow-up. We can do it on any topic that you want. Active shooter is a big topic for a lot of real estate companies where a lot of people congregate, not out in the field necessarily, but at the office. So safety in the workplace, you name it, and we can do it.
Thank you.
And if there's nothing else, guys, just let me know. Your contact is Mark McKay. Anything you need from here on out, we'll take care of. And yes, you can record it. And whenever you get your copy, send it over to us.
Will do. Thank you so much.
That was excellent. I learned a lot, and hopefully all the agents did as well. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks, guys.
you.
Be safe.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.